It's time to begin the second week of the North American Pro League, and it is time to understand exactly how things are going to shape up as we get further in. We're at match day 5. Now, last week we had it off. There are other events going on, but now the action begins, and we've got 6 days of glorious Counter-Strike action coming your way. Today we get to see NRG, Team Liquid, Ints, and EU United all go head-to-head. Plenty of matches to come, and some standings that need to be shaken up a little bit. It's time to start looking at what's going to happen in today's games. My name is James Banks, and I am joined by Natu. And I think we should just take a moment real quick here to give you a big congratulations, a big round of applause. And from everyone out there as well, Ents walking away with a huge championship victory. You feeling okay after all of that, right? I bet it was pretty stressful.
Let's say that I went through a pain train for 7 hours of feeling numb, not being able to consume anything, no food, no drinks, nothing. I was just trying to survive. But in the end, obviously, they won. So, yeah, that's a great thing for Finnish Counter-Strike. That's the first big title Finnish team has won in the entirety of CSGO, basically. So
insane. They're carrying your legacy on there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like going way beyond. I mean, this team, obviously, without going into like too much into detail, I feel like they're insane. So I feel like, you know, sky's the limit. It's going to be fun to watch them progress even further.
Well, we are going to look at what progresses a little bit further as these games and matches we have coming up your way. But first, we're going to take a quick look at the standings and kind of work out where things are after just the first week that's been out there. Now, this is what's crazy right now, too. Renegades up there at the moment. They had an absolutely explosive start to the season. They managed to take down some names like EU United, Complexity, and Rogue, but they haven't faced the heavy hitters just yet, although Ghost Gaming has been rather impressive.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, that's a great way to start when you're a brand new lineup. Obviously, you know, big changes coming in. You will have that honeymoon period, but then not having to like face the let's say like the top dogs of the league straight away is a good way to get into it and get a bit of a confidence boost, because those W's always do bring you a lot of confidence. So I feel like obviously they're going to be a lot more prepared now going further into the season. They had a trip to Ukraine, probably didn't go as they wanted to. They probably wanted to get more, although, you know, Azur was saying in interviews that they have good chemistry, feel the team is doing well, and it's feeling like they're rejuvenated after the change up happened with the roster.
Yeah, it's certainly something for them to build upon, and now to rattle through the rest of this, right? MIBR, okay, they started off with a 2-0 loss to Ghost Gaming for their season, but then did take down C9, Luminosity, and the other Brazilian team, Ints.
MIBR has been cruising so far. We watched them last week of Pro League, and they were literally cruising through this. So, no, I feel like they're almost lucky to even be up there. They could have had some more else on the board.
Yeah, it was a little bit sloppy. We also saw Liquid kind of have a 1-1 versus Luminosity, and a Luminosity that we personally looked at and said they're not performing to the levels we expect them to be at as well. Complexity, we want to see a bit more from them as well, which we'll get later on in this week, because they've had a bit of an up and down since the major as well, and I see a lot of pressure on that team given the position they did manage to find themselves in. Yeah,
I think a lot of teams actually, if you look at the big picture, right? I mean, apart from someone like Liquid, you feel like, you know, they've kind of established themselves, right? Obviously, I mean, the only thing they haven't established is tournament wins. Let's be honest.
Second places.
Yeah, they love them. They love the silver medal. But apart from that, obviously, it feels like they're really definitely up there. A lot of people were thinking they would be winning the major, someone like Sponge, for example. But I think a lot of people actually joined with that testament, because I felt personally too that they were doing really well. I think they were smart about not going to everything and kind of taking their time and making sure that no one was getting worn out, all that kind of stuff. But then you think of Cloud9 obviously going through a turmoil right now, a massive one, if you will.
Bit awkward, yeah.
Without touching more into it yet. Then obviously, I mean, NRG, I guess, is one of the more established teams, but also feels like they have some psychological issues with that team. Feels like they crumble under pressure a lot of the times. and the list goes on and on and on. So there's a lot of question marks on a lot of teams this season.
Well, let's get some questions answered here. Let's find out what games we're going to see to start things off with here today. Now you can see it on your screen, and as always, we get a secondary screen with a set of games on. But on the main stream that you can see in front of you here, we're going to be starting off with NRG versus Liquid, which could be a tasty one. Liquid, they've been on a tear no matter where they play, no matter what opposition they play against. But NRG, they fell short of Star Ladder when actually people were kind of picking them to be one of the teams to potentially be in that grand final, potentially facing up against your boys as well.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought going into the playoffs, they went 3-0 through the Swiss. Everything was looking great and dandy. But then the big old shark came in and ate them, basically. Again, I felt like that was a game where they I don't want to say choked, but they kind of maybe mind gamed themselves. Obviously, playing against a team like Vega, always super hard because they play a very non-fundamental Counter-Strike. Yep. It's a nice way to put it. But yeah, no, a lot of NRG, a lot of Liquid tonight, and obviously two hot, heavy hitters in this division. So yeah, that's a lot of fun to watch.
And I think NRG as well, right? It's time for them. They proved themselves last time around. They were like, everyone was like, oh, online RG, that whole little meme that came around of it. Well, they've proven they can play on LAN now as well, and they've done it to a very high standard. Now I think come back, chill out a little bit after playing in Ukraine, and now let's try and work these online games because they need to finish within that top 6.
But I feel like, you know, one of the good things for actually both these teams that we're going to be seeing facing off one another, first of all, is that they've both built themselves a map pool that is actually comparable with a lot of the elite teams. So that's always something you need to do. And I think that's something that's always kind of been an issue with NA teams. I feel like these are some of the teams that have finally been able to do that. That's going to help them tremendously going forward. For NRG, I feel like it's more like, you know, Ethan is always going to be there. He's going to be bringing the numbers. But then someone like Zerg, I feel like, you know, he disappeared in that semifinal against
Very
Vega.
much so.
Absolutely. And he can be, we know how good he can be, what a massive impact he can be. So, you know, that's something that they need to work on. And maybe Zerg personally needs to figure out how to put himself in a state of mind where he doesn't get phased, doesn't get like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't stress too much, right? Just gets in that zone. Yeah. Because if he does, yes, he can be so good. He can make so many plays. He can be very mobile and just be all across the map and be the kind of operator that everyone just fears to play against.
Well, let's find out what all these teams are playing for. We take a look at our road to Odense. This is what it is, right? So all of the teams, it's the hubs for tech. It's now we've turned it into a gaming sphere as well. We started, what, season 6, I believe it was, where we first had the arena played out there. We had our grand finals, and we're going back there for the end of season 8 as well.
I mean, who doesn't love robots and drones? That's first of all.
Do you own a drone?
I don't actually. My brother does.
You're a tech guy.
My brother does. My brother does. So okay. I've lent it a couple times. Those things are cool.
Did you do any like crazy adventures on it, like sending it as far as you can go, woodland creeping?
No. We're just doing. Actually, we're doing like just like an air shot from our house and like cool stuff. You know, trying to do some scenic shots. That's it, basically. Nothing too fancy.
Okay.
But still, I mean, those things are super cool.
Well, there's something I know that we're going to talk about a lot throughout today is the changes that have come in across CSGO. I know, yes, oh God. It is pretty bad. What we're going to do first is have a quick look at the new map, Austria. So, have you played this yet?
I have not played this, no.
So I was
It looks lovely, though. And I mean, it does reminisce of Austria. This is literally when I first heard that we're going to have this, I was like, there's probably mountains in there. Yep. And it's probably a winter map. See what we get. It's a winter map.
I like the idea of a winter map. We'll do that. We'll take that. See some of like the Camp Terrace and Terrace getting cold. Now, obviously, we have no idea how this will play out on a competitive format. It was previously on the workshop, so people have had a go at it. But again, we got to look at these situations where until the pros get their teeth into it, we can't really have a full understanding of how good it could be.
And I'm definitely not against the fact that we should see probably a shake-up in the terms of map pool at some point in time, get some more, you know, viable maps. I'm not saying that this map in particular is going to be, I mean, viable because we haven't seen, obviously, teams put their teeth into it. But in the big picture, I feel like, you know, it would be a positive thing if we had more possibilities. It's just not like, yeah, let's swap out Cobble and bring back Dust 2 from 2000, you know? Because, you know, we've just been the same maps, basically. Just trying to change the layout a little bit on maps like Cobblestone. Well, pretty much every map, right, has gone through an overlay change, apart from Dust 2. It's just got a cosmetic change, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely... I mean, there was a map called Tuscan before. Mill, also. Obviously, that's where Tuscan came from. Maybe we could get that back. People loved
Tuscan, Mill, Fire, Strike, anything like that, just please. Saying. Yeah, Valve, come on, maybe help us out here. But no... We've done with our talking. We've shown them a little glimpse of what maps might come in the future. It's time for us to get into the Vodafone pre-match and break down the first game.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It is pre-match time, and it is going to be Liquid taking on NRG. Liquid, the best team in North America. They've been on a roll of second places, but still taking against some of the best teams in the world, right? They've had good performances across the board. Now they're coming up against an NRG who has looked strong, but has fallen short still at some occasions where they could have made it a little bit further, right? We talk about their New York run, but then straight off the back of that, going into Star Ladder wasn't kind of what we expected from this lineup. Now we get to see them play against Liquid on Inferno. Now, both teams can play this map very well. You even look at their past results, and it's not like NRG only play against, say, lower down teams, right? They're now up there against the heavy hitters, so this could be real spicy to kick us off with here today.
It definitely is. I mean, both teams are up there in terms of, like, if you look at their stats basically from the last few months, their percentages are actually really, really good for Inferno. So in that terms, yes, it's definitely going to be spicy. I mean, like we kind of alluded to there, for NRG, I feel like, you know, they have all the pieces of the puzzle. It's more mental for them, making sure that they just don't get mentally destroyed in situations. And I feel like maybe if you throw in a bit of a spanner in being aggressive, maybe trying to make the cheeky play here and there, that's the way to kind of rattle NRG, it feels to me like, because they were usually calm and collected. They, more often than not, they make really good decision making on both sides of the map, actually. So maybe it might be the fact that if you just put in a little bit of aggression, might be an issue. On the other hand, you have Liquid, a team that's okay, yes, they've lost finals. I feel like that New York final, that must have hurt.
Yes.
They had the upper hand for a lot of it. I feel like they probably came back from that thinking, we should have won this championship, but they didn't.
Now, looking at the rosters of both teams here, right, we speak about NRG, and you say Breezy, you see Cirque, you see Ethan. These guys have been the kind of the trio that have been some of the win conditions needed for that team. Where you compare it to Team Liquid's roster, right, Twist, he's one of the most highest rated players of recent times, right, starting to really shine as an individual player, but then you're backed up by the likes of Elige, Nitro, Naf, and Taco in there as well.
Feels like
the Team Liquid team is just pure scary.
No, it's to death of in terms of skill. It's like people just forget to talk about people like Naf.
Yeah,
that's like the insane part, basically. It's like, yeah, we got these players, you know, Nitro, the Twist, we got Elige, and then, well, yeah, there's a couple others too. They're pretty good at the game called Counter-Strike, and they usually bring in the numbers as well.
That's why they're one of the best teams in this region, and we're about to find out why. Connor, Launders, you guys have joined us. How are you guys feeling? Fresh off the plane?
Yeah, feeling fantastic. Got a little bit of sleep and ready to get back into the Pro League.
Yeah, it's a bit better at sleeping on planes than I am. But,
didn't work out for you, did it, mate?
No, missed a flight, which has a chain reaction, as we know, at airports. But we're here now. I'm ready to have fun for the next 7 hours. Can no longer roast Ents, unfortunately.
Yep.
I think for at least like 2 months. What does that give you?
I'd say the rest of the year.
Rest of the year,
well, that's pretty much 2 months.
Fair, yeah,
that's
not
fair.
that too many events left.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Let's set the parameters. They're
Fine,
clear.
Born
Right out the gates.
broadcast for until next year. Born
All
broadcast.
Right. So where is this going, guys? Where are we thinking? Because I straight away in this, you're looking at an NRG that we've seen capably play Inferno. They've taken down FaZe on it. Obviously, a FaZe that doesn't look as high up as we've seen them in the past. But you would certainly give the edge to Liquid here.
Yeah, Liquid's. They're both amazing at Inferno. They're both Inferno's like quite different actually, and NRG's is very clean. It's kind of reliable in the sense that if Liquid seek out the right information, I think they'll understand how the rotates go. So I don't know how many mind games they'll beat. Liquid's a lot more aggressive, like a lot more freestyling with it, but their Inferno is good against all of the best teams. So I actually don't know who. I assume Liquid will win, but I really think NRG is one of their best maps.
Yeah.
Well, it's time for us to get into the game. It's time for us to allow you guys to commentate. Connor, you can finish off and let me know how you think this one's going to go.
All right, James, I'll do exactly that. Launders, I am kind of repeating your sentiment here, whereby I think it is an interesting, split down the middle. I'm going to give my edge to Liquid just because, again, they are the best team in North America, and they deserve that, therefore. But NRG, we know they have the upset potential, and a team that has been just as of late constantly kind of taking a chunk out of a team no matter where they seem to stand, but also susceptible of falling a little short, as we saw just recently at Star Ladder. But alas, let's get into Inferno and let's let the players speak for themselves here tonight. A lot of online games for NRG this week, and this will be the first of many.
How many was it exactly?
28, I believe.
28 hours. I mean, it's online hours.
Yeah.
So it's like Valve time. It's like
times
it's like 50 hours, in a week. I mean, it's technically just a full work week.
Yeah.
But it's online games.
That's a very foreign concept to people like us, Launders.
That's true, yeah. We get to complain.
Oh no, my flight.
Oh, 2 hours. Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Alish towards Banana. He's going to get met with a face full of teas, but not actually all too ambitious here. NRG go for the boost. They try to make that contact, and they do push him back. But off of that, they'll just sit and wait.
That's kind of all they have to do right now. They have Banana control. It's going to be scary for Liquid to come back for this. They've gone 5 armor, so now it looks like they're kind of gamble stacking rotations, assuming that it's going to be the T's to go to B, but off that gush, they're going to hit A right away.
Yeah, they're keeping up that pace. Twists, gets within the site, hides just slightly behind the boxes and tries to play off Nitro. Remember, immediately gushed and therefore easily cleaned up here with the 3 T's that have managed to find themselves frags. Liquid with Naf and Liege alive. And their numbers are gone here, Mohan. So it looks like NRG are going to kick off a good T-side start. And this is what I'm excited for. This is the first game of Counter-Strike that I've actually got to cast with the economy change.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I think they all bought armor that round, unless Daps had something else. But they decided to go off of, let's try to push top Banana, see if we can push them back. And then, well, once we know if they're going to get a kill there, if we get a kill there, then we'll move. And then when they went to walk back to halls, Liquid had to make a gamble rotation. As soon as they hit a headshot, they're like, all right, 90 damage to one player on A. We know he's going to fall into pit. Let's rush the site right now. I really like that a lot.
And it goes smoothly as well. I mean, you know that with players like Twists inside a site, you could always catch a couple kills, and he did nearly get these ones as they turned towards pit, but thankfully they cleared Nitro, the tagged up of the 2 immediately on the entry. Makes their job that much easier, and so will these 2 AKs they've decided to buy up into here in the second round.
So again, this is our first game casting a match where with the new economy changes to the meta.
Yeah.
I have so much to learn. And we have a theory striked about this on my stream as to like what people would buy, what they wouldn't. But in practice, I know things might be a little different. So it's interesting to see the full buy come out from Liquid.
I love just, no matter where this meta ends up heading, I just like the fact that there's so many more options now, right? If a team has a particular read and they want to buy up into a specific amount of grenades for an execute or whatever it may be, it's like we can start seeing a lot of layers added. It's wonky at first and it's different, so there's always that, discomfort caused. But so far we saw a few grenades thrown out, and we've seen some damage now as well exchanged here towards the arch side. It is the entirety of NRG, barring Ethan, who has decided to split into the A site, where 3 Liquid members do stand. They're hiding, and therefore have the cover of the corners to try and make this happen. A second frag thanks to Naf, and these T's have been thwarted. That is 4 frags immediately, nobody getting past the actual bomb site itself, and while Circle try his best efforts to reclaim this round, it is over. An upset off the force.
It's like it looks so good until they stopped running. They just had to turn. They turned a corner of Moto, and then they all stopped going in together. There's Daps to go down with nobody right behind him, so he dies in vain. And then Naf is able to kill Ethan, and nobody's there to push up while Ethan's pushing up. So he's supposed to be kind of the last one in to make sure nobody can stand behind default box and shoot them at arch. And instead, he has to almost entry. And you wonder, they had such a good execute on the arch wrap in the first place, but they just didn't follow through. Why didn't they follow through, Connor?
I don't know, but it wasn't pretty. Unless you're cheering for Liquid, in which case, beautiful turnaround. As we said, 2 of those AKs were purchased up by NRG, and therefore have reappeared here in the third. They've got some Deagles to face off versus, and an ump. Fugly with a bit of utility here, too. So some options, but it's just going to be the contact, which has currently not really been made.
We've seen a lot of the economic game of chicken in the meta before these changes, but now it's going to be even more so encouraged, even halfway through the match, where you just have more loss bonus all the time. We're thinking right now about the first rounds of the game, but NRG have decided to buy right back into it, and they're going to go for the same thing with worse guns.
Taco, he knows he's a liability here, but the bomb's been just thrown out into the open, and there's the spray down off the SMGs. Beautiful racking of the cash here from Liquid.
Connor, you said
I did,
oat.
yeah, it was brutal.
Did you know you're Canadian?
That was the most Canadian out I think I've ever tried to pronounce. Launders.
Wow, that really slipped out.
I feel
really
patriotic.
Really slipped out there.
Really slipped straight out. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but Twists will clear the round. A fellow Canadian, and would you say the best Canadian player currently?
Me?
Yeah, would you say Twist is the best Canadian player? No, I'm not talking about you. Not even close.
Well, no one's ever really asked me that, Connor. You know, I've always wanted to talk about how good I am. Twist is probably the best Canadian player right now, yeah. I don't like to get in the conversation too much about who is like the best individually, but
there's an argument there.
There's an argument. There's a very good argument there.
And then, you know,
That
your
was
second choice
probably.
is
You could have committed the murder and still probably been acquitted with the argument that you have for Twist
Yep.
being the best player in Canada.
It'll stand in court. Although Ethan's not standing on much anymore.
It's an
Wobbly
O.J.
legs.
Simpson tier.
A what?
O.J. Simpson tier argument.
Oh, I was thinking crying tears.
Oh. I thought you were going to go with O.J. Borg. What's the O.J. stand for? In O.J. Borg. Not orange juice Borg.
No, hopefully not. His wife is pregnant, I believe. He's going to have another child. So congratulations, OJ.
Yeah, they got Borg number 2.
Cyborgs.
Ooh.
And machines.
When Elon Musk smoked weed on Joe Rogan, he said that we are cyborgs because we all have iPhones, and so, or well, any phone.
Yeah.
Say smartphones.
It's like it's an extension
Almost
of
a
our...
ubiquitous term, like Kleenex or something.
Yeah.
But all phones are their own thing. You know, I shouldn't just say iPhones.
Would you get biological like tech improvements? Like if you could get your bank card in your forearm so that you could just
So that's
swipe.
what he's saying, right? Because you have your bank card in your phone now, right? Yeah. And it's, even though there's some delay, like a small delay between how quickly you can use it, technically we are just as like dependent on our phones as if it was implanted in us anyway.
Of course.
So we're kind of cyborgs.
It is an extension of our human body.
He was smoking weed. We don't know if he inhaled. But no confirmation on that.
And that was just one round to get out of the way, folks, right? We get some pistols, we get the show over, and now the real show starts. 4 AKs, bought right up, the gun rounds commence. Liquid, remember, turned this around after NRG picked up a pistol. Let's see if after winning the first round, they can win the first gun as well.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting test. Twist goes right for the SMG instead of deciding to buy a rifle of some sort. Also, AUG's out in play, as they should. Super cheap now.
I was just mentioning this earlier.
Wow, we've been pushing with it.
In the green room, whereby the SG was only picked up during the European Pro League today by the Ninjas in pajamas.
Okay.
And they only bought the Krieg. I theorized that we'd see a Liege with it today. Didn't anticipate the AUG.
Okay. AUG is a different story. Krieg's better and cheaper. Let's get I don't think an AUG kills on the first bullet. So a headshot, maybe not at all distances. I think that's the difference. With the Krieg will, and it's cheaper, and it's, you know, but you can only get it on T side, obviously. I don't know if they changed the stats, just the prices, right?
Yeah, just the prices.
Just
27.50. Literally a decoy of difference.
Wow, that's a good way to sell it, I think. Screw updating the price. You just got to have clever marketing to get people to buy your weapons.
It's all in how you use it, and right now there's nobody using it for NRG. It is just those 5 AKs, still with some grenades, and still with map presence all across the board. Feeling out Banana, which they have secured, now trying to get past the beast that is Arch. These brackets can spell disaster, and that grenade, oh, not even the flames, but rather the frag that came before it, all of which have done substantial damage. NRG softened up with 30 seconds. You're about to watch desperation sink in. They're going to try to wrap around through CT spawn towards the B bomb site, and that's going to put the pressure on Taco, who doesn't seem to be cracking under pressure. A soft shell today, as he does manage 2 players past. That could be problematic if not for Elige. 2 easy kills on the cleanup, and just like that, the T side fall flat.
Typically, soft shell's the only way you want to go.
Of course.
But obviously not in this game. So I guess that actually you did compliment him by saying he was a soft shell in this because he couldn't crack.
See what I did there?
So it comes all the way back. But that's good. That was a really nice play from Taco. The nades were really fantastic as well. I think that was a key point. If the combination came a little bit sooner, like if he had, I don't know who threw the molly and who threw the nade, but if somehow they landed at the same time, you know, Cirque probably wouldn't have even survived the nade. Cirque would have been stunned in the molly, but the timing was so good and it was so late in the round. That was pretty much the trump card for Liquid. And oh wow, Daps comes flying through a Molotov sideways and spots another player dropping a nade. That's an easy B take. Hog in hand, smoke down in CT, and control of the site.
Daps, you beautiful man. Just a couple of mowdowns. I mean, that's not supposed to crack open a B site, but it most certainly does. And now Taco's looking to retrieve what was once theirs. An additional flurry of frags comes in, and still no bomb's been planted, but the reinforcements have arrived for NRG, and just as quick as they get there, Ethan goes back. They've got the time to play here.
They can do what they want. And it looks like they're just going to wait to see if anybody wants to go for information. The longer they wait, the more likely the CTs are to split up the furthest. But as we can see, they're hungry for the info. It actually favors Nitro, however. That good dink, a little bit of nade damage as well. And he's got one player trapped in the corner, but he goes a little bit too far out.
Yeah, I was trying to clear the closer corners, not realizing that the entirety of NRG was still within Banana. And Twist gets eyes up with feet close just as bomb is planted. Now, he knows there's another one right in front, but he cannot manage either frag. So 3 up for NRG as they clean away around. They had 2 AKs in this one, but it all comes down to that double entry thanks to Daps.
Absolutely. No, coming through the Molotov and then getting the second kill. It's real. The second kill comes easy. He knows once he hears the nade leave the hands of Nafly, he can swing on him. And it was up to him to hit a clean shot. He did that. And once the B control is there, there's just no reason they should lose. Did appreciate Nitro's attempt at coming in, or Taco might have been, for coming in.
From Coffin.
Yeah, from Coffin. And it seemed like from there, oh, wow, they might be able to bring it back. But no, they kept calm, held on to their B control, waited for the re-aggression, and it paid off. So now, Nitro opting into alt. All the NRG players are in a very typical default. And they are feeling Banana out just a bit.
Yeah, Cirque on the forefront with that AWP. 2 snipers actually on the other side. Naf's got one as well. 4 scoped guns if you count that of Elige, who is still here at B. Applied pressure on Banana from NRG, but yet no execution. And obviously they're not going to be going into that just yet because bomb still sits in spawn.
Online games will be good to get to see the freshest, most experimental tactics.
Yeah.
Whereas online, you get all the stale tactics.
This is what I was thinking as well, is like, you know, if you're NRG and you have 28 games to play this week, how much are your tactics and strategies going to be based on actually countering your opponents in specific, as opposed to just, you know, the cliche of playing your own game?
Absolutely.
And so far, I think what we've seen from here has been these defaults. 2 up Banana, 3 towards mid, bomb sitting back in spawn. That's as vanilla as it gets. But still, Daps is now going to try to cross the line of Nitro, cut down immediately. So a man advantage to favor Liquid as NRG entry A. Or at least they'll attempt, but they're blindsided here from Taco. He's able to pick himself up 2 kills, and Cirque up close with the gut punch off of the op has managed to plant this bomb. 3 CTs still up, 2 of which are boosting. They're going to find vision over the smoke, but Cirque could find them inside it. They're not being quiet about their attempts, their shenanigans here towards Library. Nice headshot from Fugly, and a follow-up from Cirque. He spots the last, and there you have it. That is NRG with another.
Very nice. I'm actually shocked that they were able to win that. The 3 players coming from Arch were probably at a disadvantage versus the 2 on site, but we've seen teams lose that in the post plant, so this is very well done. Each player chipping in, as we can see, and Cirque looking nice with that last flick on Elige. So overall, the site take looked kind of dirty. Now, not dirty is usually used synonymously with good, but I'm trying to use it as the opposite of clean. Right? Because they had Daps lead with the arch trap, and then they all went up lane. But it felt like they put a lot of pressure on him to actually just walk past for free. And Cirque is there in a very common position to just off him on the cross. And so I'm not sure what their approach was there, but it seemed like they were probably maybe losing a few too many players trying to wrap arch in previous rounds. So they wanted to change it up in League 1. Didn't think they were going to win, though. Speaking
of losing players, this is the second round where Daps just walks blindly into the scope of a sniper. So his life has been taken away, struck down by Nitro in back-to-back rounds.
That's important. You know, it's so much harder to get a free kill like that these days, and when you give one up, you should feel regret. I mean, I'm not sure if he thought there wasn't going to be an op there. That could be one thing.
I believe it may have came with a flash as well, so Nitro just had the vision that he didn't expect him to. But the vision's been blocked. That of Elige has, at the very least. And the man on Coffins has been removed by force. Naf has to cower back with 21 HP. On the 5-7, will attempt to spam the window. Not going to happen. The bomb planted, the retake is on. And the guns are still up. There's a lot to lose here for Liquid, seeing as they've already lost this bomb site with 0 casualties, other than that opening pick versus Daps. And yet, nothing else unfolds here, Launders. This is already halfway gone.
Yeah. They don't have a flash to push through. They do. Breeze has one.
Could still go for it. There you have it. Taco's going to come charging in what is arguably late, but however, it is still working out for them. It falls on to just Cirque and twists. How's he managed that? Nitro jumps on the bomb, and in the nick of time, they will nab the defuse. Liquid playing with their food there, and really bringing it down to the wire.
I really didn't think they'd be able to pull that off. NRG had been good in the after plants, both on A and B. It seemed like the spots were fine, and the time was running so low that they only really had to get one kill there to delay long enough that the bomb probably just blows up. But Liquid pull one out of the hat. Overall, I think it was kind of interesting that they had 5 players up. They had 3 on B, and somehow NRG were able to take the site and push them out, even though they had 3 on B. And it all came because they were able to bully the Coffins player down to such low health right away. And that put Elige in a very awkward spot where he didn't feel comfortable pushing as well. And so they might have circumvented a problem they didn't realize they had. But they actually came into it 5v4 as well, right? Because they lost Daps initially.
Exactly. It's still an accomplishment for NRG. Just losing hold of it in what was a very hectic and last-second retake from Liquid. I'm sure they may have been caught off guard as well. Oh, whoa, what a robbery. Cirque just blows Nitro's brains out, and off of his teammate Smoke, he's actually going to go charging forward. This could actually offset the timing between Liquid's pit presence. They've got 2 players in position, one of which comes peeking upwards for a kill, but then is deleted right back, and that in fact does leave it on Elige and Naf. Already, he has given this one up. This is a 4th round for NRG on the T side. Comes at a heavy cost in terms of damage, but I like that this time around, Launders, it wasn't stagnated at all. Once they got that opening pick, you could really see them just charge forward and keep with that momentum, something that they've lost previously on the A site and lost a round because of.
Yeah, so I think on that this other couple of rounds, they didn't get the opening pick, and maybe that's why they got scared. But no, that's not a reason you should. I think it's just that they think that once they reach a certain point, once we start to pass library, this is where we've talked about we get a kill now or we get a trade, and then we know what to do. But maybe they haven't talked about, well, what if it's still a 5v5? And then that's why everyone starts thinking for themselves and looks for that opening kill and ends up becoming more spread out and jeopardizing the round as opposed to making it easier to win. So there was that same level of pace that we saw in the pistol, where as soon as they got one opening, they all decided to, you know, go run the entire way around into the site. Trades were good. And they know how to press a 5v4, so that's a good sign for sure. Down to bare bones buy here for Liquid. AWP in the hands of Naf, and I don't know if he has a spawn. Looks like he's already peeking down banana. Will NRG give up another easy opening frag?
There's a gap in that smoke, but there's also a boost going on here with the Oppers, so I wonder if that's intentional, just trying to lure a man into what is the side of that smoke. Nobody actually playing off of it, but there is a receiving end to this play. NRG is still at the bottom of middle now with a flashbang attempt at their peak, but Nafly catches Cirque, and that is an opening pick from the one single rifle that Liquid actually have, because the other guns come in the form of MP9 and pistols here, Mohan. It's not going to be the best of defenses, but if you can just stack it all on one side of the map, and the side which NRG, in fact, are working towards, we've seen this happen literally at the beginning of this game. Molotov's going to disrupt Taco's play, still manages a little bit of damage, and he's going to align Elige for what could be a couple of kills. Yes, he will take one, and a little bit of damage onto Fugly, but minimal at that. Now they can wrap back into B, and that's going to find it open. Nitro has pushed forward, and what Breeze is doing is just an effort to keep them all contained. Yeah, now he just has to be a thorn in their side, not let them rotate, listen for anybody moving, but he knows at this point that with the B push, there's likely... they know there's at least one person at A. I don't know if they have info on both, but at this point they should be pretty confident that they're locked into the site, and Liquid have so much fog of war right now, they don't know where they can go safely, and they certainly won't think about a retake. So a good round from NRG, a good recovery. It was nice how they timed the Molotovs just so that it was as the smoke was dissipating, and that's exactly the window of time that Taco wanted to try to sneak in there and try to abuse the fact that they weren't going to Molotov it, or tried to wait until after they might have, and just catching him out is huge, right? If there's no crossfire at Arch anymore, they're back to a 4v4, and then they know that his teammate who was nearby ready to trade
since it's understood that he's going to be around the corner, it's a lot easier to go for that fight.
I mean, look at the way that Elige goes from playing within the arches on the corner, right, anticipating the jiggle peek and trying to allow for Taco to swing, into literally standing at the corner face to face with those terrorists. He knows that what he is doing is putting himself into such a liability type position, but it nearly works out. Only 1 kill for him, and another round for NRG. So we're all tied up at 5, and the CT side still not rebounding in terms of economy. This is not a pretty look for them with a single AK for Twists.
Yeah, I haven't paid close attention to how this has kind of happened, but there have been a lot of slight buys in this game so far. So Taco has gotten into a very dangerous position for the CTs, and Elige is right here to move on contact as soon as noise is made.
Clearing the corner, and Daps covers for it. Both of those crosshairs perfectly placed between Fugly and Daps.
Yeah, that was not a very typical angle that Taco was in. It was a hard right angle clear for Fugly, but he was smart to do it.
And Daps even smarter to set up off of it. Beautiful little two-piece. Doesn't allow for Elige to catch them by surprise, something that we all know he can most certainly do. But they're still going to be asking themselves a question here, NRG, and that is, where did this AK get off to? Because you still don't want to run into Twists.
Yeah, that's true. This is the kind of round where he can really blossom. If you're not careful, you almost always see this happen. Everyone dies, Twist comes through, gets like 3 kills, 350 damage, and you thought you'd already won. So, picking the right site this time, knowing Twist typically plays A.
We'll still have to navigate their way around Naf to get them. What?
We'll take that.
Sure. Why the hell not? Headshot through the coffins and one directly the other way. So this is an easy conversion here for NRG off of the clearing of B bomb site. And they're going to realize, of course, that Twist still has this gun, but, you know, let the guy keep it.
Can you balance well on both your feet at like one at a time?
Let me try. I'm definitely better with my left foot.
Do you feel wobbly?
So. No.
No?
It's these it's these Adidas Spaces,
It's the foam?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, on your shoes?
It's the foam comfort.
I noticed I don't have really good balance on my left foot.
Are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed, yeah. So I guess that would be normal?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I was just thinking, if I tell you I'm left-handed, would you still be my friend? Because I am. So that's why I went quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to reveal myself to the internet.
Listen, it's not a choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can't fault people for things that aren't their choices.
You can't smash my fingers with a ruler anymore.
No, this is in the 1800s. You won't be hunted like a witch for having a left hand, being left-handed.
My left-handed friends, rise up. The time is ours.
I think you guys are more creative or something.
Yeah.
Are you O-blood type 2?
I don't know. Probably A+.
You should find out. What if I have to save you one day?
Oh, look at Naflag go. He needs saving, Wanders. He just ran down Banana with a gun in his hand. And luckily, Elige is there. Manage the losses. Quick footwork here from Breezy. Gets that much closer to the A site, but with no avail. NRG turn tail. Have to make sure that flank is clear. They have no clue what Elige got up to, when in reality, he's rotated over and they've left the Opper on the top of Banana.
Ooh, there was such a small chance right there. Oh, Ethan decides to peek right back in.
Yeah, smoke in the face of Taco is going to get him a little closer. Cirque, caught with grenades in hand. Tried to get away. Now they're going to have to push past Nitro. He is scoped in and ready. So the first frag comes with ease. Fugly doesn't want anything to do with this. Will double back. Could go apps. Does have the time to do so. And like you said earlier, right? The longer you give these CTs, the more likely they are to not all be together. Maybe somebody else goes to bolster that B-bomb site. He's just going to try and gamble on the timing. Maybe get an entry from balcony in the last few seconds of the round. And try to plant this bomb. If he finds too much resistance, expect him to tuck tail and probably save that gun.
Yeah, I do like this though. Lots of health. You know, if he gets one kill, the round can change. So, small chance here. Does miss Elige by just a hair. He's going to expect one person to be on the site, however. And it's funny how many times that corner won't get cleared. But with 15 seconds remaining, you've got to pick your battles and maybe anticipate that there are going to be more unorthodox spots than normal. But I like that there. There could have been it could have been made competitive. I think with the amount of health he had, there's not many situations where you want to 1v3 these days.
Of course.
Considering how good people are, but I think that was definitely one of them. So now everyone's back on their feet, 6-6. And in the game of, it's been a very transparent game of points where it feels like Liquid are doing slightly better on Banana with their opening frags. Liquid NRG are doing great when they have opening frags, and that has been the tail of the tape. So I think the key for NRG not dying early and being very careful about how they contest Banana if they do at all.
And just constantly trying to find those opening kills. Last rounds came easy with Nafly being caught in Banana. Obviously, it still went traded, so it wasn't an immediate 5v4, but you still thinned the opponents. Other than that, entry's not really being offered up. We've seen it sometimes with Taco's positioning here towards Arch side. When they want to play into the A-bomb site, they're generally trying to work past him and Elige. But it is, in fact, Nitro this time around. That op floating left and right within the A site. Taco will also fall back ever so slightly. Nobody wants to be that first casualty. This is a round that will weigh on the economy of Liquid. Ethan pulling fakes. That execute's going to get moving forward. Cirque still the front line. Taco about to receive possibly a shot to the face if he's not careful, and he is. He repositions all the way towards Library. Elige does come over, and blink and you'll miss it. 2 quick kills from Nitro. Excellent collateral. Bomb's been thrown into the open, and this should be all she wrote. Twists, again, just unorthodox positioning inside this site, on top of boxes every which way. Cirque with the hops, sent packing. 7-6, Liquid lock A down.
Damn, that was one of the best collaterals I think I've ever seen, where Nitro, I mean, a lot of times when people get collaterals, it's just luck, you know? But look, that was one of the best flash dodges, and he knew that there was going to be 1 or 2 people coming around that corner quickly, and he just readjusted his mouse so nicely there, dodged that flash perfectly, and I love the re-aggression in the first place to make sure they don't get all of that space to go up mid.
Kind of play that boils over as well. Immediately into this round, he goes peering down middle, picks up his kill. The 5 versus 4 established. Elige and Naf are just going to mow them down from Banana. Daps does get one, and he's been known to get 2. So you've got to be cautious on this B site, but alas, this is just Liquid exerting their force over the pistol players of NRG. To be expected here in the 14th round. They're saving for the 15th, and if Daps is lucky, maybe he even survives, guaranteeing an op for their final T round.
That wouldn't be too bad.
God, what a massacre at the bottom of mid.
Did he just walk out and 1D Taco at lane?
Yeah. Just crushed him.
No armor, unfortunately. Where's Elige at? He's the number 4 player. Or he's the number 3 player.
Back at B-bomb site.
So it seems like each site is equally weak in some regard.
Swapping the op into the hands of Cirque makes absolute sense. Where'd that M4 go? It was left behind. Daps wants to use the CZ, and why the hell not? Nitro could go for the peak, but he misses the shot versus Cirque, and that re-aggression's going to cost him. That re-aggression could cost Liquid this round, because Twists now rotates over, 11-4 at the current moment. Having himself quite the half, but can he clutch this? No kit, does have a smoke. There's a kit just in front of him. And with that smoke, he should be able to move forward and pick it up. But now he needs to find a way to get these kills. Flashbang's going to enable the cross, so he thought. Cirque catches him in the skies, and that is a 7th round from NRG out of nowhere. 2 rounds whereby Daps gets these immaculate openings over on that B site.
Yeah, those are very critical, and also, you know, Cirque getting that 1 dig and then them hitting B, killing Elige, not taking much damage was huge. And then Nitro, you know, missing his shot like that. He's missed a lot. He's missed his shots like that sometimes. But I wonder, because his aim is amazing, right? And that was a very small flick. And how much DM do you need to do to like guarantee you hit shots like that? Like, there is no math when it comes to flick shots. You just hit them sometimes or you don't. You practice more, you miss less. And with him, it seems so weird that I almost just feel bad, because I was like, you know, that's a shot. It's easy. He can do it. He's probably not nervous. Why didn't it connect? You know, why didn't the bullet go in, Connor?
I don't know. Not meant to be, but Elige certainly has other ideas here on Banana. He's managed himself a second. His bullets go straight through the eyes of the offense. Banana hadn't really been a problem the most recent of rounds, but Alicia's taking this one by storm. And Taco's gonna try and trade, cannot manage to finish off Cirque. Good movement by Cirque. We've seen him just fly towards Library, jump down into the bunker now.
Yeah, you could probably slide him under a door.
Guy's got hot feet. Fugly, faster fingers, obliterates Taco and will then draw his teammates over towards the A site. The only form of defense in the final round of this half is Naf. And what's he gonna do about it? They are moving that bomb through apps. Actually, everybody, in fact, seems to be coming from this direction. Naflight's got a very committed position. I mean, he's just gonna try to mow them all down or go past unnoticed. Does manage to find the bomb carrier.
God, no
There's
way.
the second kill, but he cannot manage the third. What would have been a beautiful 1v3 is an 8th round for NRG. They group themselves together, and he comes popping upwards, only to no avail.
Love these clothing smooths.
They're really nice.
Yeah, it's great to see that from the other perspective. And for for Fugly, he was just there ready to aim at. You could see the way that he was strafing back and forth. It's all right, you want to peek to the side, you want to peek up, let's go. Take out 2 of my teammates, and there you are, I have this.
That's the downside of the graveyard position, obviously. So much cover, but once the jig is up,
yeah,
you're done for. Nice little multi-frag by Alish to even make that round what looked competitive. Managed to lock down Banana regardless of having no gun.
Who did better that half? You know, like
That's the really hard question. I think it boils down to what you were saying, where it's like, well, in terms of Banana control, I think Liquid had the edge. In terms of finding opening picks, I think NRG had that at the A site. Like, they had really good arch plays at times. We saw a couple attempts with those CT splits. I mean, sometimes you see those like once a map, but it looked like they were consistently using arch in their executions, regardless of their destination. But
yeah.
with all that said, there was also rounds on the A-bomb site, Launders, where Liquid completely locked them down. So I don't know who did better. I think, again, just like coming into this, 50-50 flip.
Yeah, it seems like kind of a toss-up. I'd say the only like outstanding bad rounds were maybe the couple of A takes where they didn't give themselves a chance, where they didn't finish the wrath. But after that, they really cleaned up their act, I feel like, and looked a lot more fearsome. And then even were winning man disadvantage rounds versus Liquid later in the half as well.
And if you want to give NRG another bit of an edge, I mean, think of Daps with that CZ play towards the B bomb site, bringing one into his team's camp just based off of, you know, what was a couple pistols. So if you look at the eco rounds, I'd say NRG actually had a bit of an edge there. There's lots of back and forths between these two. And I'm happy to see that, because obviously Liquid, such a fantastic team. And now there are competitors within NA.
Yeah. And I don't know how to say this without being disparaging, but for NRG, we know how good they are online, like in terms of consistency.
Yep.
The game plan's always there, and sometimes they meet themselves online as well, and they should. They're extremely good team. Here's actually a similar pistol setup.
Oh, look at the damage.
Yeah.
Breeze and Daps with 7 health combined. They are lucky to be alive. They are lucky to be in a 5 versus 3 as opposed to even keel. But it's not like it's going to take anything really to push them over the edge. A stiff breeze could do the job.
Said breeze because it's like a stiff breeze because it's like wind, and that would like do the job because it would blow him over.
Yeah. And his name's Breeze.
And it works because his name's Breeze.
And I think there's also the possibility of Daps being TK'd by him. You know, it's going to get hectic with a pistol, so I was trying to set myself up for potentially bringing that back.
Just in case.
You know?
You never know.
There's the stiff breeze we're talking about. Daps has been team killed.
Boom. Alley-oops yourself.
Sometimes you got to play with yourself, Launders. Cirque is going to play with the other team. Quick headshot. Goodbye, Nitro. Who's next? That's the question. Ethan's found himself a little bit of cover. Eventually, they will have to cross pass. He's going to put down the smoke within the site. I like this. It enables him to just work defensively around it, kind of create some questions as to where to get off to, and he's actually thrown that bomb out into the full display. Twist is going to retrieve it and plant within the smoke, but at this point, he's just playing for the plant. He just wants that money because he knows when he comes out of here, when he emerges from the smoke, he is done for. Excellent hold there by Ethan.
Yeah, the fade away, the Iverson on the way out into construction with the USP. And Alish saw an opportunity there. He's like, I feel like Ethan's going to be falling back. You typically do want to try to shoot someone if they're running backwards or forwards at you. It's the most awkward to hit a shot from accurately. But I think if any gun could deliver while running, it's the USP. So Ethan just staying on full alert as he backed off. But could have easily died there. Made it a 2v3. Bomb goes down. Alige gets himself a USP for himself, and then brand new round. But instead, NRG take now what will be likely a commanding lead, though. Again, because of these meta changes, we'll see. Liquid have decided to buy some here, because I think they got a plant last round. That's actually going to do. That's going to be a big change.
That plant is what they've actually used to purchase here. A couple of Deagles would be the 700. Got the P250's flash. I always like a good one flash play, Mohan. You know I am a fan. $200 can make a world of difference. But it's got to be well-timed, well-utilized. And obviously in the eyes of your opponents, which at this current moment, they have no idea where they're at. In anticipation, Deagle blasts off, but no luck for Nafly. Not yet, that is. Smoke grenade's not going to deter him. He will stand on the other side. They're getting inside of it, so at the moment it fades, they go off the flash, try to push past, and they are all cut down. Limb from limb. It is Liquid, ripped apart here towards the B site. 4 up at the end of it for NRG, and like we said, a nice strong start continues forward.
Yeah, the flash was great, the spacing was great, there was a good amount of explosiveness when they came out of the smoke, and the timing was perfect, and I think they did a great job on the execution, but the hold was just fantastic. They were both in good spots to dodge the flash. And then they obviously contributed with just their rifle play as well. So overall, a solid attempt with that flash. Probably would work again on another round, but for that one, NRG were a little bit too prepared.
Uh-oh. Fared thee well, Nitro. An SG553 for Alige. Headshot for him instantaneously. Cannot manage the spray down on the second. So a 3 versus 3 to come back here to the favor of Liquid, because they've got an HP edge over Fugly. He has only a quarter bar left. And if he died at any moment during that B confrontation, then I would say Liquid go charging forward.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. They don't know if there would be 3 for sure, but that could have been too much of an opportunity to let go, especially with 2 kills. Nice light execution to keep it safe. Good late flashes as well. Fugly lets his position be known.
No, tracers aren't going to enable the spam back, and he's actually managed to reposition. Bomb planter behind the fountain, nearly aligned, but nobody dies. It's going to have to be the retake to roll forward as the utility. Molotov and a frag, double flashbang for Breeze, and, well, currently 1 kit. They do find Taco in the open, but they're unable to drop him. Even now, Fugly has to extend, and he will be able to clear that second oranges. The question falls to, can they get this back corner in their hands? Fugly, with the man on pillar, manages more damage. The UMP upgraded to the M4, pushes forward, but again, to his demise. Twists comes out from his cubby, and Liquid on the board early on.
Very close. Definitely worthwhile to go for that. But somehow, Liquid are able to hold it down in the afterplant. Very nicely done. Held on to that double emo for as long as possible. And if you can keep that double emo a secret, that is going to be the ace in the hole almost every time. It's been working for almost 15 years now, double emo.
It's because normally they're alone.
Yeah, because
they're emo.
It's emo, yeah. So you never expect it. Even 15 years later, you still think that they're going to be alone. But no, emo's cool now.
Well, let's play back some AFI. A little My Chemical Romance.
There we go.
You already shave your legs, so you're halfway there.
Once every 6 months. What do you mean I shave my legs? I don't think that.
Exposed.
Allows me to run faster, Connor.
It's all about aerodynamics.
You don't? You do?
Shave my legs?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No, I've got hairy legs like Sponge.
Oh, okay. You've got hairy legs like me, actually.
True enough. Headshot. Not going to come off of the scope. Fugly on 1 point of health. Can he do anything more? That would be incredible. He's got the flash, but it's gone unannounced. He's now tried to pounce back into the gunfight, but again, another man robbed based on low HP. Nitro with 5 points to his 1. Cirque repositions, tries to escape. Quick feet, as we've said, always on the fly, but this time he dies. Cannot escape the grasp of Naf. Breezy Hide, my friend. Just hide.
B-site's been cracked open. They have the Konami code. They know exactly what to do. Will they be able to stop it? We saw how aggressive they were with trading. I think it was Nafly who jumped out through a smoke. Ethan coming down, going for that kill, and then Elise just coming on right after him. You know, they are relentless right now about banana control, and we know how aggressive that they can be. I think it's one of the best parts about Team Liquid is that you know that it's not going to be easy to predict what they're going to do because they always play so confidently that they're willing, and there's enough leash on each of these players to make decisions for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, whereas NRG are a lot more calculated. It's actually one of my fears for Astralis because they're a lot more calculated, but they still manage to keep it up. Part of the deal is obviously talent. You know, you can't just allow a bad player to make decisions for themselves, but and they don't have this problem. But stylistically in this fight, it's going to be kind of annoying when you know Liquid are just going to be so spontaneous all the time.
And so consistent as well. They have been towards this B site. I like this setup. 2 players over towards, what is the sandbags corner? Thomas included, and then there's even a double head stack within the bomb site that now comes flying forward. It's meant to distract the front man, and it most certainly did. Breeze could nab himself a third while jumping. That's absurd. The bomb's at the bottom of the T-ramp, and he could even continue this round, but he's caught swapping guns, Launders. That is a mistake.
You never know who's going to come through that smoke on Liquid.
Like you just said, the confidence, but it's calculated. The leash just long enough for Taco to walk forward. And now he's got Twists behind him with the bomb, but Daps stands above. Expected and dealt with swiftly. Fast flank from Cirque. He will be able to get his hands on a gun if he can get into Banana fast enough. But he's got to have to move those fast feet.
Yeah, he's got to hoof it. This is one problem of the SIG. Well, the run speed's just a little bit lower. It's not quite as easy to come flying around a corner. And as we can see right now, he's being quite defensive about the way that he's approaching this bomb that is ticking away. He's only got a few seconds left before this becomes an unviable retake.
Oof. Deleted Twists with the peak. Nabs back the round. That is 10 apiece.
Is it inviable? Unviable. I think I pulled a Connor. Unpossible.
I think it's non-viable. I think it's non-viable.
Non-viable.
Yep.
Tom and Eric, can you tell us if it's inviable or unviable?
No,
or non-viable?
I have to place my bet on non-viable.
Non-viable.
What did I say last week? Was it
unprobable?
Impossible.
It said unprobable and unpossible.
Oh, man, we're gonna need some new casters in here, Launders.
Whoa, don't just drag me down with you, man.
Or we just need a Merriam-Webster dictionary straight here on the desk.
Yeah, I think our phones would be faster still. But I like the
sentiment.
That's
actually a very valid point.
Dictionaries are. You ever had like a English teacher that just read the whole dictionary and would tell you about it?
No, I'd hope I never meet a person that's done that.
Yeah, surprisingly, he was also cool.
Well, I mean, if you love English.
If you love English,
love some language, right? Linguistics can be very interesting.
If you love English and you hate yourself, read a dictionary. He said it took him like 2 summers. And I'm like...
time well spent.
You had a great time in high school, didn't you?
I could just
do
see
anything super nerdy like that? What's the nerdiest thing you've ever done?
I used to play in Magic the Gathering pro qualifier tournaments.
I'm going to beat you up after this.
Yeah? I was good at least.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was before I got into computer games. I was big on the card games. It all started with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Nice, me too.
And then
Magic Cylinder is my favorite card.
Magic Cylinder.
I don't think it was competitively viable at a certain point. I don't think it was either banned or just not good, or I don't know.
Yeah, I still even nowadays believe that, you know, the best thing about card games is when you don't play them competitively. It's just like go into a game of Magic with all sorts of kinds of crazy monsters and creatures and spells and wizardry and trap.
Okay, he's getting nerd chills.
All right, let's settle back down into the game here, folks. It's the 21st round. We are all tied up. We've got a little bit of momentum on the side of Liquid here, but we have enough cash for NRG to still buy in. Double MP9 and an ump. Looks to go charging forward down Banana. Elige caught by Fugly at a bit of a distance, and now Ethan's up in their teeth. He kicks a set right in, but Nitro doubles back, and just like that, the bomb can move immediately forward into the B site.
Banana just keeps getting taken. They're just able to do it go over and over again. And I appreciate that NRG are fighting for it every time. So a lot of teams will just fall off because of this. And here, they're throwing in a bit of a change-up. The rotations are already out for NRG. 2 players have committed to playing B. Daps is now left alone with an MP9. Probably told his teammates to just go while he waits. And he does get info early, but the bomb site has been taken.
That's a big kill here from Cirque, because that's going to clear up the entirety of Archside. Daps' options are now more open, and take note of the positioning here from Taco. He's actually going on a bit of a stroll. He needs to nail the timing back behind Daps, or else he becomes a liability. But instead, he becomes the insurance policy that could win this round. If, of course, he can win the clutch, because Breeze is in his face, but that will not be an issue. They will take him down.
Well played, well played. And they knew that Daps was in there. Taco had to take a small risk by going in there after him. But once he was in the hallway, he knew that the flank was on. The only thing that could have messed him up was if Daps moved too early onto the site, but there was just enough time for him to flank. Perfectly well played. And he made up for Nafly getting killed at Arch as well. In the 2v3 after plant, Team Liquid come away with another one. And it all started with a successful banana control, which has been the biggest problem for NRG. 5 smokes in hand. This is these Astrali smokes, where they refresh B and rotate, or use them at both B and A until the last 15-30 seconds of the round, and then overstack a site following their final smoke.
I feel like that last B round did have promise, though, from NRG when they go running downwards. Like, Fugly's first kill onto Elige was very crucial, because it was the scope up.
It was 3v3 after it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it was just it all happened so quickly that there was nobody for NRG to really contain that push-up from Liquid, and obviously the T side knows it. A couple of fast ones, but like you said, with the smokes, this one will be slower. They have opted to try and block off vision here at mid. We've got utilities being chucked out from Taco, but it is the entry that belongs to Elige. And Fugly now tries to get up close. Not going to happen. The Krieg prevails.
Unreal. They scrim out to Banana once again. This time only versus the pistol. Somehow 5 smokes have already been thrown in this round. Don't even know how that's possible. But I thought they were just going to focus on mid and Banana, and then try to funnel the terrorists into one site. But it doesn't seem like Liquid are going to stop for a smoke at this point. It's going to have to be more than that. They're not trying to waste anyone's time, Connor.
Good. Our time is valuable.
Yeah, I agree.
Mind you, we still have a lot of time in these chairs here, Launders. The first map of...
I'm actually standing.
Yeah, you are. It's true. And these are stools, not chairs, but...
I didn't mean to interrupt your point, just to point out something that wasn't that important, because okay. I was...
I know what you're
putting in a little bit more effort.
I know what your objectives are here. I see through your shenanigans. And it seems like Liquid does too. Just quickly managing any kind of potential B control in the previous round. I love the fact that we're versus ecos and still seeing Liquid play their game in terms of grenades, right? Don't make any mistakes. Don't overcharge yourself. Because you know that once you get there, you got a guy like Elige to just start cracking noggins.
More aggressive than ever. He's getting pretty jacked. And I can see the testosterone building up in the game. And he's making a lot more heads-up plays, and I feel like he's more confident than ever these days.
I look forward to the day where there's long-term studies
of how jacked Elige is getting.
No, into the benefits of good physical health in esports. But
I think it depends on the person. I feel like people's brains are fueled differently. But this is kind of a crazy round, huh?
Yeah, it is, because Cirque has actually managed to cut off the second cohort of Team Liquid. Now, he knows there's another one up there, and he's just going to try to get into the room. He does it. Nafly still in a pickle. Teammates trying to find a way to clear this, but 1 minute and 5 means they can take their time. It all comes down to angles, and Cirque just continues to aggress. Do not get caught again changing guns. You're allowed 1 freebie. He will manage the kill to Nitro close. Still, although, into the 2 versus 2 and twists with a nasty little angle.
He's so careful.
Well positioned was he, but so is Fugly. He knows the other player was into the apps, but I don't think he's expected him to drop already.
Oh, total mind game. My favorite part of the round. 1v1, doesn't know where Fugly has decided to rotate to, knows that the first position could be lane, but that a late one could be halls, and an even later one could be arch, but very unlikely.
Buckley's just going to walk up. Could spot the scope of the barrel. I think he just did. He knows Naf is back there, but he swaps to the AK and manages to get the job done. 14 health. He is lucky to be alive, but he survived, and as will NRG.
Yet there's still consequences just because NRG win that round, but they don't have that much money left over. Liquid are going to know this as well. This is a great round to take Banana. They might do something crazy that is NRG on Banana, but they're just not going to be in such a great position. And it looks like they're actually favoring utility over any good type of good gun. So they're going to go 2 MP9s here. I imagine that they'll have, I don't know if they're going to have 3 go at first. No, it's just going to be Fugly and Ethan. So they've got full nade sets. There's only 2 people. It's a fast Banana, however.
Always up close, twists, manages to get over to the other side, and Ethan, thanks to the teammate support, mows down 2. That has been completely turned away. Cirque legged, but still standing. An exchange of grenades for further damage, and the Molotovs are going to extinguish the push. Liquid cannot move past just yet. They will keep up this aggression, and they're not being shy of showing their presence here, making all sorts of a ruckus. Executing in with smokes, Molotovs, the works. Comes falling onto the head of Ethan. And the push then right after Fugly doesn't manage any, and Taco has been very good in these crucial moments picking up multi-frags like that.
Yeah, it's true. How are they going to weaponize Taco? They've moved 2 players over to Banana. No nades here, and there's significant utility for NRG. But the thing is, it's only a Molotov. You can see over top of it. If it doesn't go deep enough, they'll still be able to defend the plant.
Maybe that smoke will do the trick. He does get vision of Daps just prior to him going back into the cover. And now he's not going to have the angle already lined up, so it's going to have to be a charge straight through. But there's... Oh! The man cleared off the bomb.
No time.
There you go. That is Liquid, baby. Locking it down from Banana, causing a ruckus on the B site and robbing back around.
Wow. They killed the man in the back. Breeze and Ethan get so many kills there. 5 kills that round. And this trap, this honeypot at the top of Banana was so nicely played where they knew Liquid were going to try to go for something. I thought they should definitely go for something. They went for the fast Banana. Instead of meeting them at the bottom Banana, they waited for them to come to the top, put Ethan in sandbags, threw a fantastically timed late flash. Whoever, threw that flash deserves a lot of credit. 0 RWS, but still a lot of credit.
Yep.
And they ended up having very, very, very favorable trades on Banana. So that was well done, but it was 3v5, right? Liquid should definitely have a loss there.
Boils down to Taco with a crucial multi-frag.
Right.
I feel like that's been the name of the game. We talked about the strengths and weaknesses of each of these teams in this one particular matchup. It's been so close in certain regards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's had a hell of a mid-round.
But good mid-round fragging from him and the team. Still not out of it, but down by 2 and down by 3 guns this round. Not to mention utilities. Can still make plays happen, as you can see with the boost. Smoke at his feet. Going to obscure the vision. Cirque not able to find an angle, but gets confirmation of a man right there. And then it is confirmed for Liquid that they have found an opening kill. Immediately charging up forward. They do have a position inside of the apps, though. This is interesting from NRG. Breeze out in the open, but still capable of locking down the line. Grenade does fantastic damage, and Breeze is just so mobile right now. He's managing to find angles, but not additional kills. Daps with the CZ has picked up a plenty of frag tonight, but he will be cut down short in the retake attempt. Does still give Ethan a gun. And the 3Ts just anchored into their positions. Pit and both on site means there you go, it's called.
Wow. Well done. Well done from Twist in particular. I mean, he was just... We saw Breeze jumping up, but that must have been relatively silent. He didn't... I don't think he missed the jump, and if he did, maybe that's why Twist knew. But Twist running into Graveyard and looking straight up at where he came out of is the game, because in that situation, it's 2v3 in NRG's favor, plus they have pick control, plus Breeze is still alive. And now NRG actually lose another man on the save.
Yeah, he was trying to grab that AK, but didn't get far enough away with it. It's okay, only lost the CZ.
Like Ethan had a reconnect, and that's why his KD is so low.
Just the most passive player you've ever met.
Yeah. Why do they never come to my site, guys?
Yeah. Gotta keep up that 1.1 KD. Another fast one towards the top of Banana, but it is Naf alone. Already knows that there is nobody there. Not aggressively positioned anyways. What does that B-site defense look like? It's Ethan with the M4, Fugly with the CZ. Which leaves the MP5 here at the B-bomb site. Or A, excuse me.
A couple of airdrop grenades. Oh my god, they actually threw 2 back at oranges and just did 150 damage. No, 100 damage.
Those are the ones that bounce off the skybox from Banana, correct?
Yeah, yeah, they did it. And it's like the guys from oranges threw theirs off the skybox and they got a taste of their own medicine.
Anything you can do, we can do better. Yikes. Unless all you have is an MP5, in which case your brains are splattered on the back of the wall and your teammate comes in to retrieve it, only to find out there's no gun to be found. And in fact, a second body dropped back here to the favor of Liquid. They're going to go for the execute and find it for absolutely free. So this is a 15th secured here, and this T-side from Liquid is just looking rampant right now.
Yeah, match point. They don't even have the ability to think about going for this. Ethan's got the M4, but he's not going to want to try to go for this. They've got no money left over, Connor. The armor, even the armor is worth saving. They've got to play now for match point. Only winning 1 round in this half? No, what am I saying? They had, it was an 8-7 half. They won 3 rounds early on because they won the pistol.
Yep.
And then they had 8 rounds. So that's all the rounds they got on CT side. That's everything. Liquid have had a flawless T-side comeback from 11-7.
Which is something that we've actually seen, you know, even earlier today with the European Pro League, was that there was just some pretty crazy T-side runs. There have just been, in general, crazy T-side runs as of late, but even hell, last week, I'm not saying it's entirely because of the update. Last week, too, we had, you know, really close halves and then switching sides and blowouts.
Okay.
So, I don't know what it is. There's something in the water.
Maybe. Yeah, and the economy might be something, but not in this game just because they didn't lose a round, so there was never a time they had to worry about, or like,
well, I mean,
didn't get extra buys.
Yeah, they get technically 4th round loss bonus, excuse me, after losing the first 3 in this T side.
Oh,
and then
that's
since
true,
then,
yeah.
you know, like, did that momentum, but mind you, they would have had a gun round regardless of patterns. So, I don't know, it's need more of a sample size, but there's an unarguable fact in this map, and that is inarguable.
I think so.
Non-arguable. It's that this T-side has been successful, and it is that NRG are getting down to their last final attempts. This one's going to have to be mandatory, and it's most certainly possible because they have a 5v4. Taco's just hunting the heads, but nothing presents itself. Lining up a smoke. 3.5 times 6.42 equal.
You can see the number, the floating calculus.
Of course, while he's crunching numbers and throwing out smokes, there is still Elige and the bomb carrier working towards the B site, so it is more elaborate than you may first presume. Taco still just going to play that anchor role, and the defense at B is caught rotating away, but that's not going to prevent them from being successful. They have locked down the site, 3 kills, and even despite Taco's best efforts at an entry here at A, it is all for nothing. The rest of the map is gone, and so are his teammates.
It was a bit labored, but they finally are able to pull out a round. NRG get a 12th, they win a rifle, they make it look clean. They held B. They didn't do it on Banana, but that was fine. And it was actually Liquid who decided that they wanted to try to entry and not smoke CT. If they had smoke CT, it would have been NRG spamming through the smoke wildly, maybe or maybe not getting spammed back.
Why are you laughing, Launders?
Inarguable.
Merriam-Webster.
Yeah.
She's my girl.
Yeah.
You know, we're tight.
You said unarguable, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, you were correct in correcting
Wasn't sure.
me.
Is it a French thing? Because you do un and in a lot, I guess, every time almost.
I don't know.
Is there some French?
I'm going to blame it on the French part of me.
Okay. Always blame the French.
Blame Canada.
Always running from your wars.
Not the war on global climate change.
The most important war. The future of our kids.
Watch these T's creep out the apps. Remember, last time Taco, he did this alone. He was successful. Keep that in mind. He did catch that rotator off. This time, he goes flying downwards, just looking at his feet. And Breeze burns alive. Naf will finish him off. Daps tries to still lock this down. You can see the CTs rotating, but not overzealously. They don't want to be caught unless they can catch the T's inside of the site. Excellent job from Daps, and Cirque will seal the deal. Fantastic hold from NRG there. Once more, Daps putting in the multis.
Well, then we've woken up a bit. Yeah, we're back in the game. 2 rounds in a row, and there's only 2 to go to bring it to OT. NRG looking a lot more solid, or is it Liquid who are starting to falter? It looks like once they get on the site, the holds are just a lot stronger, and maybe it's because NRG are not losing guys early on that it's becoming harder for Liquid to close rounds out. Liquid on a save now. When do you ever see a flick with a sig?
A sig flick.
That was 1 sig flick.
Man. And it was on a leash as well, which is just, you know, all the better.
Yeah.
Because that's literally his gun.
Yeah.
Speaking of their guns, there's 3 AKs in unison with that SG, so there's going to be plenty of room for grenades and all the bits and pieces for NRG.
Ooh, bad smoke.
If they win this round, this is going to give Taco an entry, and he just sideswipes Ethan. Sure, Cirque can come through smoke, but it's still left 3v2. And I was talking about earlier how Liquid picked up the ecos, and now it's NRG. Oh man, possibly going to do the same. Daps has managed to drop the bomb carrier. They know these players are isolated inside of the bomb site, and because of those little bits of utility, Daps is going to make the difference. Twists needs to clutch, and it's not going to happen. Round 30 inbound.
Wow, how does Daps do that? He not only gets away with getting in through the smoke and not killing the bomb planter, but finding a way to reposition to get safety, and then killing the bomb planter, and then going on to pick up the second and third after plant kills. Very nicely done. Good flashes from his teammates here to delay. Good Molotov, good awareness on this wide swing to come out from Naf. And once he had zoned Twist into position, easily sprayed him down through oranges. Pretty fantastic round. Thought it was going to be over. Liquid entering off of a bad smoke. Can't let that happen.
No, those are the slight mistakes that can most certainly cost you. And you know, if you do it in the 5th round, we let it slide. If you do it in the 30th,
that's the one that they'll be talking about on Reddit.
Yeah, it stings all the mower. But
stings like a lawnmower.
Yeah. Making fun of how I pronounce that, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. That's what I
feel like if it don't, it's even more awkward, you know. Just let that mower sit.
Man. We need to spend less time back home. I think that's what happened. We went back for a week, and now I've just got all these
can't speak English
ridiculous accents coming out.
I think I made up a word today too. I don't know. More to come though. More to come.
Big pick for Liquid. Now all their options are open, and you can see them just conga lining towards the top of Banana. Going to eat a bit of grenade damage, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alige, not an issue at all. Poor Ethan just taken off his legs. They're going to cross with no cover. Nothing down at all. That is an easy pickup for Fugly, and it could have been a second if he was able to contain the spray, but nope. Doesn't maintain the bomb site.
Naf just really is waiting on the smoke. He didn't even smoke it, actually. They've decided to smoke Coffins. So it's going to be hard to rotate in through, which is kind of interesting. It's not that it's a lot easier when the smoke is down. But Naf gets killed in the back of the site. Fugly's pushing in. He knows that someone's here. And Nitro, does he get this kill? Could be the most critical one.
And the attention's being called back towards the site itself. This is going to enable Daps to walk forward, but it has happened again. Straight into the scope of Nitro. The 30th round needed, but nothing more, folks. Team Liquid going to pick up the opening match here between them and NRG.
Liquid were a lot more sporadic than NRG were. They were a lot less, I suppose, predictable, and they were a lot more explosive and fiery, and I think that's what gave them the edge, as we saw NRG earlier on, maybe a bit too timid, and in the second half, starting up a bit too late, you know?
Yep.
So Liquid being a little bit more consistent, a little bit more confident, helped them take it over the line.
It was very clearly there, though, right? We saw the shimmers of hope from NRG in multiple rounds. I think back to whether or not they could have converted the first pistol round that they only used to get 1 as opposed to 3 in the second half, because that would have been them picking up both pistols with some gun rounds, which at that point, that late half doesn't quite matter. But we'll be back with the second map between these two teams.